All right, you guys, we have finally made it to the last section, section 6 of your exam, which consists of one singular question. So there is one extended response question on your exam, question 34, and it asks you to write a partial autobiography. Now, you can do that if you would like. However, you've basically already done that by doing the personal narrative in the course. So writing a partial autobiography, kind of the same thing, asks you to do the same things as writing a personal narrative. So here's what I'm going to let you guys do. If you have done the personal narrative in our course, and all of you should have if you're taking the final exam, so if you did the personal narrative and if you got a good grade on it, if you got at least a 42 out of 50 or higher, I am going to let you put your score in for the personal narrative for number 34 as your answer. So what you would do when you get to number 34, instead of typing your story, your narrative, you would type 42 out of 50 or 46 out of 50, whatever your score was. So make sure you check that score, maybe jot it down somewhere, keep it on your phone in a note or something so that you have it and you can remember that while you're taking your exam. All you have to do is put that score in there. You can say I got a 42 out of 50, submit that, you'll be all done, and I will make sure that you get the same percentage of points for that on the final exam so that you don't have to do double work. You've already done the work for that. I don't want to make you do it twice. Now, if you do choose to write your personal narrative, or if you didn't write your personal narrative when we were doing that unit in the class, and you need to write it now, then that is fine. So you can write your personal narrative here. Your response should be at least 1 to 2 paragraphs in length. And I want you to include narrative elements that we covered in our narrative writing unit. So what I'm looking for here is that you have a beginning, a middle, and an end to your story. You're telling a story about yourself, so you should be the main character. And your story can be about anything you'd like it to be, anything important from your childhood, anything that you think is interesting, whatever story you would like to tell. And guess what? If you don't know what story you want to tell, or if you think, I don't have anything interesting to write about myself, you can make it up. I will not know the difference, you guys. So if you want to make up a story about yourself, as long as you are the main character and you are telling a clear story in chronological order, using narrative elements, having a beginning, middle, and end, you will get points for that. So once upon a time, Mrs. Cox decided to, I don't know, go to the store because she was all out of ingredients to make dinner. That's what I'm going to do after I make this recording. And so you would start out by telling what happened in the beginning of the story. So maybe I went through my cabinets, tried to make dinner, and figured out that I had nothing, that all of my groceries were expired, and I didn't have anything I needed to make the meal I wanted to make. And I wanted to make a very special dinner because my husband had a bad day at work. So I'm really just making this up off the fly. See how you guys can make it up, and you wouldn't know the difference had I not told you that I'm making it up. So that would be the beginning of my story. And maybe the middle of my story is that I get to the store and I have to make some improvisations because they don't have all the ingredients that I need at the store. And then I get to the cashier, and the climax of the story is that I go to pay and my card gets declined. And oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Why is my card getting declined? Um, I need these groceries to go home and make dinner. And out of nowhere, someone in the checkout line behind me decides to pay for my groceries for me. And so they're a very kind person, and they tell me, don't worry about paying me back. It's fine, just pay it forward for someone else next time. And they cover all my groceries. The end of the story is the falling action, the resolution. I get to go home, I get to make dinner for my family, and I learned an important lesson about kindness and how sometimes it's good to do good things for other people, and even though you don't get anything in return. So that's an important life lesson that I learned. That was a totally made up story, you guys, but that just to show you the different parts and the different elements of a story. So if that's the route you're going to take, 1 to 2 paragraphs. It doesn't have to be the longest story in the world. Just make sure it has a beginning, middle, and end. You are the main character, and you're using those literary techniques that we've talked about in class. If you guys have any questions about how to answer that question or about finding your score on the personal narrative so that you can use that for that part of the question, just let me know. You can always shoot me an email or a text or give me a call. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. If you have questions on the exam in general or finishing up our class, I would love to answer those as well, and I would love to help if you need help getting caught up on any assignments or anything like that. So best of luck on your exam, you guys. It's been wonderful having you in class, and I wish you all the best as you're finishing up and passing the class and moving on to other classes. Bye, you guys.